Yeah. Hey. Woo. Wow. Let's go. Untamed. Wake up. Yeah.
Good morning. Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Yo.
Wake up.
First Sky Omaha in the morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey.
Good morning to you guys on this Monday. What is it? The 11th of August.
Man,
Already 2025. Thanks for waking up early this morning with us. We had to bring in a little Sherman Wells on that.
Man.
We can kind of wake all the way up this morning. Big Sherman. That's right. Well, good morning to all, and I appreciate you guys coming on in. Do us a favor right away. Share the show. If you're on Facebook, we can get as many voices in as we can. And also, if you're on YouTube, send somebody the link that you might think would enjoy discussing the news with us today. So appreciate that very much. Like and subscribe when you're over there as well. And Fresh Edition is happening right now. So just want to thank you, and hopefully you had a weekend that didn't blow you away. There was a lot going on this weekend with the weather.
See what you did there.
Man, how you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm all right. Could have used a couple more winks, but we in here doing the thing. Looking forward to today. If I'm not mistaken, Senator Cypher Monday.
Senator Cypher today, man. We're anticipating Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Mckinney, and we'll have a little discussion with them. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, should be a good discussion. We got lots to talk about, especially with everything that's been in the news with Senator Mckinney over the past week. Relationship with the police union and everything else that's going on. So lots happening. And I just want to jump right into some of the things that's going on. Pops gives us a good Monday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Lake Keiser gives a happy, marvelous Monday to everyone. That's what's up. I'm glad you don't give us a tongue twister on Monday, because that would be rough. All them M's. Lake Keiser gives us Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family, and happy motivational Monday. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I need to get motivated. Tired, boss. Tired.
Mark Matter gives us a good morning. Good morning to you, bro. Marcel Moreno says good morning. Good morning to you. How was the Untamed summer yesterday? Let us know. I know that you probably went to that on Sunday. Let us know what's up. Kimber Snipes gives us a good morning. Good morning to you, Miss Snipes. Hope everybody's feeling pretty good out there. Yeah. Again, we had some major storms happening this past few days, and it kind of swept through here. I thought that we were going to get it really bad. My area didn't get hit too hard, but other areas got hit really hard. Yeah. We'll definitely talk about it. Let us know if your area got hit hard. You're probably not here if your electricity's still out, but if your electricity's out, let us know. Kind of just making sure that everybody is okay and safe. There's a lot of people with electricity out still.
Man, thousands.
Thousands, really? That many?
Yeah, that's what it said, man.
It's crazy. Very crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, so let us know if everybody's good. Michelle Moreno says it was good. Yeah, Untamed Summer still going on. Appreciate Sherman Wells, Untamed, and also Assembly of the Saints doing this 20 weeks of summer they're doing over there. If you haven't checked it out and brought the kids, you might want to check it out next Sunday.
Man.
Yeah, they're probably only got about 8 of them left now. So
yeah. The back end, the back 9, if you will. Man, I'm kind of upset though, man. They had a firefighter come through. The fire chief came through this week.
Oh yeah,
and that's something my little man. He says he wants to be a firefighter. So
really?
Yeah, that would have been a nice little experience. Get on the truck a little bit, hear the fire chief talk. But yeah, man, shout out to Untamed, been doing it, having community members come out and speak every week. Good food, and yeah, I mean, really good food, man. We thought we was doing something, bringing hamburgers and hot dogs for the kickback, man. They had the Le Cordon Bleu kid out there.
Yeah, the chef out there for real, bro.
Going down.
They brought the restaurant warmers out with the food. I was like, man,
they doing it. Yeah, check it out. A couple more weeks, man. Tap in.
Most def. Mark Manor says I was out in the boonies between Omaha and Lincoln, and huge trees just snapped in half everywhere. Talking about that storm.
Be careful.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it, bro. There's a lot of people. Actually, somebody passed away over the storms this past weekend. So, yeah, real rough. Linda Latham in the chat. Good morning. She says, "Good morning, sunshine. My neighbor's tree got struck by lightning. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see it happen? Because that's wild. When I saw a tree get struck by lightning one time in front of me, I was like, This is not a movie. This is a trip.
Yeah, no, it's ground gets to shaking and everything. It's a real situation. Please be careful out there. What were you doing out in the boonies, Mark? Man, you out there with Weatherman Wayne, storm chasing?
Yeah, what you had going on out there? That's a good question. We have a special guest coming on Friday as well. I want you guys to highly anticipate this. So we're still talking about what happened at Native Omaha Days, and there's some assessments and stuff that went down just recently. But Kimberly Sherrod, who is executive director of the Native Omaha Club, will be joining us on Friday. So that's a highly anticipated interview that we're going to have with her as well. If you remember, we had Vicky Quates on from the Empowerment Network that was part of the Native Omaha committee. And now we're going to have Kimberly Sherrod on from the Native Omaha Club so we can continue this conversation. In the meantime, in between time, there's a lot to talk about as far as the debrief is concerned. We'll be talking about this show as well. Also, they had a meeting. They all gathered together and had a meeting about what we can do differently for Native Omaha Days. Just riding on the momentum of what happened. I'm still feeling, inspired and high from the Native Omaha Day week myself. Man. Still. It was incredible, the best one I've ever been to. So, yeah, we'll be talking about it, and get ready to join that discussion. I'd love to hear from you, your experience. Had a really good last meeting. The last class of the content creators camp just happened on Saturday as well, and shout out to Marlon Harrison, man. We're starting his article. A lot of stuff that we're talking about. His article has to do with his personal experience at Native Omaha Days. And it really inspired me to be like, man, we should all be writing down our personal experience about that week and how we felt about it. It'd be a great testimonial to future Native Omaha Day events. So, man, yeah, it'll be great. Sean McCarthy in the chat. Good morning. He says, morning. Hope everyone has power. Yeah. Any family members missing power out there? Let us know. Yep. We'll jump into a few of the community updates while we're setting up for the show today. I'm sorry, I got some tech issues going on here. Always
hit it with the fat finger.
Always got something going on. This new one come up here just recently. Of course, there was the event that just happened. What was it called? Jazz. It was a jazz event that just passed. I can't remember the name of it, but it was by this group here, which is the Love 'Em Jazz Festival, and I was anticipating this festival because they pretty much bring some heavy hitters out every year, and so the one that we were talking about before, that was I guess it was a fundraiser for this one. So this is a free event. Yeah, I realized that was the main one. This is the main one. The Love 'Em Jazz Festival is happening August 30th. This coming up Saturday, August 30th from 4 to 10 at Turner Park, Midtown Crossing. You know where that's at, 31st and Dodge in Omaha. And a Grammy Award winning, man, Everett Hart. My uncle would go crazy if he found out Everett Hart was coming out here. And man, Jackson Jr. and Jeff Lorber. That's anybody knows anything about some jazz, that's some heavy hitters. Jeff Lorber band with Kenny G got his start in the Jeff Lorber band. So that's like way back.
Okay.
Some serious jazz, some serious funk, some serious soul is happening, featuring Grammy nominated artists. And yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome. So that's coming up August 30th. And if jazz ain't your thing, you also got this coming up August 30th, which is the Freedom Tainment's Unity Festival. CeeLo Green will be out there on August 30th as well, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. You might even be able to go to both, and they're both free. So it's gonna be going down. This is at Gene Leahy Mall, so all the downtown and midtown is gonna be black and black.
Gonna be turned up that whole day. Like, I think the Love 'Em starts at 4. Go check out some Love 'Em, then go check out some CeeLo. Sounds like a good day.
Sounds like a day, bro. I'm doing that. That's a day I might want to. I wish the streetcar was already up. I'd hop on the streetcar.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Marla Harrison in the chat. Good morning. He says, I hope I see you on the show Wednesday or Friday. Your fans need to see you in person. Who? Oh, you talking about? you let some stuff slip right there. Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be out in Vegas this week as well. And Marla Harrison is already asking for Pops to show through. Come on through.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. Pops like to be mysterious. I don't know if you're gonna get on screen, but we'll see. As a matter of fact, Pops in the chat right now says Jeff had a huge hit with his version of Always There. I didn't know that, Pop.
Okay.
What? A song my pops wrote, a very famous song called "Always There." I did not know Jeff Lorber had a version of it. That's
Man, look at that.
yeah, that's what's up. Oh,
Smoke up.
or he's a jazz dude. So maybe did he do the Ronnie Laws version? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, Jeff Lorber, he's a heavy hitter. So shout out to Love and Festival for bringing out those heavy hitters in a big way. I really appreciate that. Also, don't forget what's coming up with this concert right here, man. This is August 16th, so this is coming
Man.
up in a few days right here. This is huge, man. The Minch Group. I've been trying to really look and see what's going on with them. The back to school block party is happening, and you can see all the heavy hitters here in a really big way. Headlining Black is headlining, and so yeah, man, this is gonna be a really awesome show right here. I can't wait to see it. And there's some hype on this too. Like a lot of people are talking about coming through because there's so many. You know, whoever put this to whoever the Minch Group is, I'd love to have them on to talk about what's going on because it's kind of amazing what they got going on here.
Yeah, this is if I were to throw a show, I could definitely see myself putting together a show like this. Got the mayor coming through. Yeah, it's some heads, man. You gotta look. You gotta look.
I'm looking at this, man. It's hosted by Streets AR Podcast. So shout out to DJ Jiki. Marcy Yates gonna be there, and of course we already talked about Skyrie and Infinite Loop, both reunion getting back together, man. Yeah, Thailand music. I mean, DJ Skyscraper. There's gonna be so many people out here that are really doing some heavy stuff. I see Scotty Pimpin in the group over here as well.
Man, my dog El Ness.
El Ness. I just seen El Ness over there. Yeah. Okay, got so many people on this flyer. I didn't even notice everybody yet. That's crazy. Yeah, so this is gonna be wild. If you really want a sense of like some of the best artists coming out of Omaha right now, this show is gonna be really displaying that on a very high level,
man,
with a headliner and the mayor. So this is one not to miss right here for real. North 24th Street, Laird and Sprague to Solar. So it looks like they're doing the whole block party, gonna block off the street, stage it off, and do some things, man. It's gonna be something else,
man. Like I'm looking at this lineup and just thinking, like, you gotta really support. These are Omaha artists, especially coming off the energy of Omaha days, who have gone to other places, and these are some very talented Omaha artists who are getting recognition and success in other places. Aaron Gregory was in New York, even down here in Atlanta, doing dance, and has really built a name in the world of dance in these areas. Ty Lynn making a name for herself as an artist. Man, many movies and shows have now have her music in them. Man, Scotty Pigeon, he's in Philly right now doing his thing. So yeah, big shout out to all the Omaha talent acts getting down. Please go out and support, man.
Big time, man. Big time, man. For like I said, there's so many reasons to go. For me, the reunion of both is one of my favorite hip hop bands, like of all time. Really, like the energy that they brought and the beats. Infinite Loops beats is just crazy. You've heard them on the show. Not to mention Skyrie, who's not just a rapper, but just this overall artist. As a matter of fact, he's the cat that designed our Sky shirts.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember those, let me see if I can find them. Yeah, the one over there on the left, the OG First Sky shirt. That's Skyrie's art, man. So he's been doing music kind of low key, but been doing more art lately, and really kind of took the mantle there. And it's just one of them things. It's like when Rage Against the Machine got back together, we was hyped. Like we didn't think it would ever happen, but both is back together. Two of the heavy hitters for me, and that's the show they're gonna debut at. So yeah. Said enough about that one without getting paid. But that's the one to go to, man, in a big way. So shout out to everybody that's doing that. Of course, a few more things that are going on around town. Don't forget about the Lawyers in the City. Shout out to Heart Ministry Center, our partners over there. They have some dates there you can see on the side. The next one will be looks like September 12th, that they'll be bringing some free legal advice from some lawyers there. So shout out to them. Heart Ministry, second floor classroom. This goes down. We'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha, so you can keep those dates handy. If you have any questions, you get some confidential, free, limited scope advice from volunteer attorneys for low-income Nebraskans. Civil legal questions only, including divorce, custody, other family matters, wills, civil lawsuits, bankruptcy, all kinds of stuff. You can ask a few questions for free without having to pay a consultation fee if you qualify. So yeah, definitely check this out. Shout out to Heart Ministry Centers for putting that together as well. And then this is something we failed to mention when we were talking about it Friday. But man, Spike Lee is coming to town. Put this on your calendar, November 16th. Omaha's holding it down right now, bro.
Man,
Shout out to Film Streams with their feature series. This is feature 9. Sunday, November 16th, 2025 at the Holland Performing Arts. Spike Lee will be in the building. Go to Film Streams and check it out. I think they have tickets for people that are members of Film Streams, and they have general tickets as well. They're not on sale yet, so go there and peep out when the sale's going to happen, because they're going to go fast for sure. Spike Lee in town is a huge deal. I'm trying to speak to somebody over there and be like, "Yo, can we get an interview with Spike and take him over to Malcolm X the grounds?" I know he's probably been there already, but we'll take him back.
You gotta tell the folks at Film Streams to do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Hit us up, First Guy Omaha. 7:16 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's talk about the thread today, buddy. What we talking about today? What's happening?
Oh, speaking of doing the right thing, man. Yeah, we're gonna continue having this conversation again. We mentioned earlier, if you missed it, it is Monday. We are expecting an appearance from our beloved Senator Ashley Spivey and Terrell McKinney for a Senator Cypher. And yeah, man, we'll definitely love to hear specifically from Senator McKinney about the controversy that's been going on. Of course, we gotta acknowledge it, but do it in our style, man. Our style is to go to the source. So again, we'd definitely love to hear from him directly. But beyond that, there's plenty of other things to talk about. As Paul mentioned earlier, do want to acknowledge the storm and some brothers and sisters, man, that will be disproportionately impacted, if I can say that, by this storm. Talking about our incarcerated brothers and sisters. I don't know if you've seen that video, but yeah, NSP, man, rocked by the storm. But not just that, also Paul mentioned a few people have lost their lives due to that, and still some people still dealing with the loss of power. So again, kind of giving some information on that tip. But also looking at, speaking of information, the Native Omaha Day debrief. Has anybody filled out these surveys going around? A lot of surveys going around. I mean, we done found at least 3 or 4 different surveys, a lot of data being collected, coming on the heels of the Native Omaha Days, and just kind of debriefing, trying to figure out where to go from there. As I like to say, making it a movement and not a moment. So yeah, again, more conversation to be had about that situation. But also on another tip, this is something that we've been paying attention to, looking out for, and big shout out to Nebraska Examiner for doing the work as always. Talking about DHHS, which is definitely something we might be able to get into with our senators. Again, they're under investigation for a program that has led and maybe kind of let slip through the cracks some cases of abuse. Yeah, as Senator McKinney calls it, the Department of Hell in Harm. Yeah, more conversations to be had on this show. So again, if there's anything we're missing on the mark, definitely feel free to drop into the chat. Let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. A lot of these stories are things that have been posted on Friends of First Sky. So big shout out to all the friends and the fam out there keeping the conversation going on Friends of First Sky on Facebook. And yeah, all of you joining the conversation right now, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, appreciate you guys coming in. Kimra said OPOA is out of control, so I can't wait to talk to Senator McKinney about this. She said, I had an exchange with Tony Connor, former prez, yesterday. Can't wait to hear about that. This is definitely a conversation that needs to keep going here. The Omaha Police Officers Association was in the news last week for making some allegations about Senator McKinney, and that was a big deal. And they kind of doubled down on some things too. They did not apologize for their misstep there. So yeah, lots to talk about there. And of course, like he said, we'll talk about it with the source when they come on here shortly. So let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and jump into a little bit more of the news and a little bit more of the discussion. Really appreciate everybody coming in. Pops was saying, telling Marlon, he said, I caught me on screen accidentally last time I came out. He was definitely wasn't ready for the close up. We'll see what's happening. RG in the chat says, morning, y'all. About forgot again. Okay, look here, RG. Don't be forgetting about us.
Hey,
we can get back to working second shifts. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, we're thinking about it too, man. I was actually going to talk to you about this, buddy, but I was kind of thinking about maybe changing the time frame for a reason or two. So
we talked about it.
This show is fluid, y'all. Saying that each season we try to shape it the way it needs to be shaped, and make sure that we can catch as many people as we can. The goal is to have as many people in the conversation as possible while we're live. The live part is it. I know a lot of people come back and watch this, to watch the show after the fact, but really the live version is when you can come in and in real time have the discussion, and there's nothing that beats that. There's really nothing that beats the live. So
Yeah.
highly suggest that you continue to do that as much as you can and invite people in. Share the show if you're on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, share the link and like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Please stay tuned and keep it coming, get as many people inside as we can. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be buddy the guy. Right back, y'all. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be buddy the guy, fresh off the weekend. I'm feeling like I can use a couple more winks myself. How was your weekend? Was your weekend busy? Were you dodging the rain?
Man.
Let us know. We'd love to hear about it. And appreciate you guys getting up early this morning and joining us. This weird weather, we still gonna get some rain today, it looks like today. So but not as intense as it has been. It's finally supposed to clear up a little bit. So we'll see.
Man.
Meantime, between time, Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Also, let's see. What's Kimra talking about here? She said that's a problem, though. The conversation won't keep going. We lose focus so easily. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we try to not do that around here. As a matter of fact, like I think, we get a lot of people that come and tell us sometimes it feels like we're talking about some of the same things a lot. But yeah, that's the kind of the point too. This ongoing conversation about this, so we can get past just being, the news of the moment, and then move on from there. We kind of need a little deeper thought. So we're going to try to do that. Kimmer says people rah about something and then move on to the next thing. That's kind of the par for the course for sure. She says, remember when OPO lied on the black community around Stephen Phipps? This is true. They got a pattern of making statements that are very controversial, and so much so that the police chief of police sometimes separates himself from some of the comments that the Omaha Police Association makes, even though, as Anthony Rogers Wright brought out Friday, the association is made up of active working police. So it's a dichotomy. We'll go ahead and move on from that thought real quick and jump in. Vicky Young giving us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Buddy, what's first on the agenda this morning?
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be rounding back around to what Sister Kimra is touching on and talking about. In the words of Michael Jackson, all I want to say is they don't really care about us, man. And that is the feeling. That is the feeling. That's definitely the thought for me. When I think about what's going on in NSP, we'll kind of start there. Again, fresh off the heels of the storms over the weekend, thinking about those who dealing with the power outages and it's just thinking about the weather in general. Just a side note, like, is the global warming conversation still a thing? Like, when are we gonna get on? Like, we were just talking about a heat advisory on Friday, and now these crazy storms over the weekend. Kind of crazy. But again, thousands and thousands dealing with power outages. Actually, several people have passed away. Actually, 2 people have passed away. This comes from Nebraska Public Media. Getting news from them while we still can. Man. But again, a storm packing winds as high as 90 miles per hour. Pretty vicious storm blew through eastern Nebraska early Saturday morning. One person was killed at a state park near Omaha. The National Weather Service said the Lincoln Airport recorded a 91 mile per hour wind gust. There was also a 91 mile per hour gust recorded near Fairmont in Fillmore County. So definitely glad, you were able to make it safely out of the boonies there. Brother Mark, again, saying he was out there riding his bike during the storm. Man, a crazy situation. Again, those high winds toppled numerous trees in Lincoln and Omaha. In most cases, there was only minor damage and no injuries. but one incident proved fatal. Again, gentleman lost his life. The Waterloo Volunteer Fire Department said in a news release that also a woman was killed at Two River State Park when a tree fell on the vehicle she was in. Again, also a man who was with her was seriously injured and transported to the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Also in the Lincoln area, there are about 34,000 customers without power at one point on Saturday. As of 1 p.m., that number has dropped to about 10,000. So again, if any of you are still dealing with power outages, you can reach out to OPPD to look into when services are expected to be reinstated. And again, man, check on your loved ones, check on your fam, check on your peoples. But also, man, thinking about, I'm not quite sure how you can check on them, but also thinking about if you have any loved ones incarcerated in Nebraska State Prison, because that situation, more than minor damages, again, man, dude, can we play that video? I mean, it looked like a tornado.
Yeah, it was definitely something else. Let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, shout out to Paul Philman for sharing these images and videos and links on Friends of First Sky. Again, Paul Philman, as we like to call around here, White Paul, very, very active and vocal, and always making sure we think about our incarcerated brothers and sisters. Check this out.
This is wild, man. It looked like a tornado.
Look at this, man.
Yeah, this is rough. It's culminated. I keep on thinking about how overcrowded these jails are, and the way that some of these units got jacked up. They had to move inmates to other places, and I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to that point, again, this is from a post from Brian Mastery of WOWT. He says, just then we're getting the first images from inside the barbed wire at the Nebraska State Penitentiary. Again, where yesterday's powerful winds damaged 2 housing units. To your point, Paul, 250 inmates were moved to different housing spots within the prison. About 137 inmates were also shipped to the gym at Omaha Corrections and the gym at Tecumseh State Prison, which, again, both Omaha Corrections, Tecumseh, and NSP are all overcrowded right now. So making a bad situation even worse. And again, the point of us having this microphone, of us, having this show, this platform, is to continue the conversation about, not to rah and move on to the next, but to continue to say, yeah, Nebraska's prisons have been federally recognized as one of the most overcrowded prison systems for years now. And now we have even more to worry about. So again, definitely more conversations to be had, more thoughts, and I'm not quite sure how you can check on your peoples, but let's reach out. Let's try to reach out.
Big time. Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying, many discussing global warming. We will be attending the second African Climate Conference in Ethiopia next month. That's what's up.
Nice.
Yeah, can't wait to hear about that. He says, who is not talking about the climate crisis, though? OPPD. Folks better get hip to their plans to accommodate all these data centers. Definitely part of it as well. Lots going on there when it comes to the energy that crisis and stuff that we have to deal with here. But you're right. We got to kind of think about what we're doing about the climate changes and everything else, because it does seem like things are getting way wilder than they ever did before. You know what I'm saying? So and we're in season 3B, Space is the Place. So we always are talking about spaces and places, and we absolutely in our community have to talk about what's going on in the prisons, the overcrowding, but also when stuff like this happens. So now we got to kind of dig in and find out what they're doing about it, because the article mentioned that they were they were putting people in cafeterias and all kinds of different places right now, while and it was going to take some months to get these buildings built back out. So what does that mean? Were those places that some of the incarcerated people were in? Why do they have to be moved in order for these buildings to be built? How long is it going to take? Are they doubling and tripling up in sales now because of it? I mean, like you said, if you can find out what's going on, probably be a good idea to do that. And if you get any information on that, please relay that to us so that we can relay it to other people who have family members incarcerated. So
yeah. So definitely hitting close to home. Here I have several friends who have siblings incarcerated, family members, incarcerated. And shout out to Guillermo Pena in the chat reminding us just how old and antiquated the system is. He says it's 100 years old, talking about NSP. Also says buenos dias, good morning to you. But yeah, it definitely is a conversation that needs to continue to be had, and push for some people to get released. That's the big thing. Like this wouldn't be as much of an issue if you wouldn't hold on to people, especially for nonviolent crimes, especially for marijuana related crimes when it's legal in the state. But that's a whole other conversation. But also in spaces and places, speaking of whole other conversations, we got to keep the environmental situation on top of mind as well. So again, actually, Kimra coming with some more information on that. She says, can y'all ask Senator McKinney about the meeting we all had on Friday with OPPD board member Eric Williams? Speaking of OPPD. Yeah, okay.
There you go. Appreciate that. Anthony Rogers Rice says a good point, Paul. We definitely need to do not speak about how the climate crisis impacts incarcerated people. Not enough. Like I say, shout out to Paul Philman, who's always keeping us abreast of what's happening there too. But yeah, just in the building, I'm just thinking about how old the buildings are, how old the facilities are. It's always their reason to build more facilities. They use that a lot. These are old. They're unsafe. Lots happening. And every time we have any kind of climate crisis too, you got to think about it, man. When I remember there was a summer when all the electricity went out in Tecumseh, I believe it was, and so yeah, everybody was in these boxes sweating in the summer without air. There was a water situation that happened because of a climate thing once that I remember back maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So there's a lot of things that are happening there that are worth talking about in a big way when it comes to our incarcerated brothers and sisters, when it comes to the spaces, the places, the buildings, the climate, the energy that's used for these facilities. When it goes out, what happens? Definitely a lot to talk about there for sure. Appreciate y'all. I see Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning to you, Brother Pena. Good morning. Lavelle Wells in the chat. Good morning. Appreciate you. Heather Williams, it gives us a good morning as well. Appreciate everybody coming in right now. 7:32 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And we have our special guest waiting in the wings for the Senator Cypher, ladies and gentlemen. We got Senator Ashley Spivey in the house. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Very good this morning.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
A little tired, but we're here doing the thing.
Same. It's been, I feel like a busy summer that wasn't a summer, and it's like everything is a go, but so I'm tired, but good.
And it's not done. The summer, I was just telling somebody last night, the summer is not over. We still got plenty of celebrations to go to and things to do. Big way.
Yeah. My birthday is this Friday.
Hey.
So I'm having big Leo energy. So I have a big week of stuff. Senator McKinney is the Leo too. I think his birthday is like Wednesday, maybe.
Okay.
Really? Okay. Well, man, happy early birthday to the senators. Yeah.
You said you go party all week. You said, huh? The whole week.
I feel like as you get older and you're a parent, like, what are birthdays? You work on your birthday. You take your kids to where they want to go on your birthday. So yeah.
True
but
that.
I'm lucky to just have another year Earthside. So that's enough.
There you go. So I guess no real plans for the birthday, but as far as this week, how's what's on your mind? How's things going?
Yeah, so just busy. So with the senatorship, just a lot of meetings and following up on some of my interim studies to make sure they get scheduled. So if folks go onto the Nebraska legislative website, you can see now the interim studies or hearings that have been scheduled. A lot of them are invite only to testify, but at least you can see what senators are thinking of. And so I'm trying to make sure mine gets scheduled and that we have dates and all of that so people can be aware. And just thinking about what's going on at NSP from the storm damage and where folks are being housed. Senator Mckinney and I also went to tour DCYC last week. And it was very informative just to make sure as we think about what we do at the state and the county is over juvenile justice, how do we ensure continuity, that we are thinking about things holistically. And so just like a lot of good stuff, where I feel like there's momentum for change, which is nice. But it also feels like the world is on fire, so.
Constantly. Yeah. Any discussion or movement on the discussion of the youth facility downtown?
Yeah, it still is empty. And I think, the idea originally, because I was confused coming in of like why is it empty? Like what is happening? We spent taxpayer money on this. We spent ARPA funding on this, and it was really to ensure that detention and kids are staying for a moment in time. So it's not to truly detain for a long period of time. The idea is that the kids that are coming to detention are seeking some resources and are finding out of home placement that is conducive. And that is like less restrictive than detention because it's still a jail, right? But the issue is how our kids are being charged and the amount of violent offenses that our kids are seeking, and then not even just going to juvenile court, but going to adult court. And being charged as adults. And so you see a higher population now of kids that are charged as adults that are being held in detention. And so, and that's not what the new facility that was built was supposed to be for. And so I had a really good conversation. Commissioner Garcia, who's the chair of Douglas County Commission, was there. We talked to the head of DCYC and kind of his leadership team and toured around like what they're seeing, what does it look like, and what are the opportunities. And I think in general, it is always upstream preventative. And so it is that we are not investing in after school programs. We're not addressing what's happening in the schools. We are only hyper focused on the kids, but not family and community integration of like what is needed. And of course, it's like the social drivers of health. Like what does that young person in their family's house look like? What is their access to food? How their parents are working, and are they underemployed with 2 or 3 jobs? And so it's like the things that we already know and that the data has already shown for us to be doing, and we got to get there. We got to invest intentionally there. And so I think it'll be a continued conversation, and my goal is to work with different levels of government around what could this look like. So at the state level, we are not responsible for the implementation of juvenile justice. We write the statutes that create the guardrails. And so I can't keep or our colleagues can't keep putting in legislation where they don't understand, like, what does that actually look like when it's implemented, and what are the intended consequences or unintended. And so I'm really trying to make sure I have a pulse, because Douglas County is one of the largest counties that is impacted by all of our juvenile justice policies that we pass at the state. I mean, we have the most population, we see the most kids, so.
Right. Just by numbers.
Yeah, so a long answer to I don't know what's going to happen. There's been some rumors of orgs wanting to use it and things. And again, I have some concerns about confinement and what does it look like, and how do we truly address what we see is happening.
Yeah, I'll set this up and toss it to you, Paul. And if anybody in the chat has any questions, definitely drop that in. But I'm glad you touched on those points, though, because that's kind of where my mind is as far as just the larger conversation I wanted to have today. As far as community police relations, and of course, we all know the controversy of Senator Mckinney and what's going on between him and OPOA, and would love for him to speak on how he feels or just speak his piece on the situation. But the larger conversation, beyond getting into the controversy, just the real conversation of community police relations, especially after some of the positive things we've seen during Native Omaha days, but also getting more to the youth part of it. Kind of at the heart of the police community relations is what's going on with our youth, how are police viewing our youth, and not just our youth, but expanded to the family as well. So again, I appreciate you touching on those things. And with that, Paul, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the legislature last session. There was that big battle about whether or not they're going to be able to detain 9-year-olds and charge 12-year-olds as adults, and everything that was happening there. And I always wondered about what that fight was like, and how that is manifesting now, because that law got passed, right? They're now able to do that, and I know that you guys fought against that. I'm pretty sure. I was pretty sure about that. And so I'm wondering about, what that means for that as well. We'll definitely try to have somebody from the county commission on to talk about that particular facility, and those things. But I'm kind of, now that law has passed, I'm kind of wondering about this impact. And before we get to the answer to that question, I'm going to bring in Senator Mckinney is in the house.
Hey.
Good morning to you, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
Good.
Man,
She just revealed that this is your birthday week for you too, huh?
hey.
Yeah, my birthday's on Sunday.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Okay.
after mine?
Yep, 17th.
I thought it was before because we big
No.
Leos.
Okay.
You missed the whole big Leo energy early.
There you go. Happy early birthday. And hey, we need that. We need that big Leo energy in the legislature. You know, you can't knock the lion. So again, we appreciate y'all for fighting and doing the good work. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe Senator McKinney, you can jump into what we're talking about right now.
Mhm.
We just kind of on this subject of police relationships, especially when it comes to the youth. I think Buddy had just asked Senator Spivey about the kid jail. We call it the kid jail that's still sitting there empty, and was giving us some information about don't know what's going to happen with it, and we're just kind of on that idea of like what does it all mean with the bill passing last session and with the being able to detain 9-year-olds now, like what did this mean for our youth? The continued relationships between our community and the police. What are your overall thoughts on some of this?
I mean, I think the overall thoughts is that our youth are going to be targeted more, and have been targeted more, and were the target of that bill, which, in my opinion, was unjustified because they were using one-offs to justify the entire bill. When you look at the numbers, it just didn't add up to why the bill even was being pushed. So, I mean, it's a total target on our youth, because when you look at the numbers of the youth being arrested and the demographics, it's kids coming from North Omaha and primarily Black kids. Although there is an increase in, Latino kids and Asian kids and South Sudanese kids going into the system, the overwhelming majority is Black kids from North Omaha. So it's a target on our youth. And when you think about that new youth jail it's not new no more, but it's just sitting there, they never had a plan to fix the system. It was just like, let's build this jail, decrease the numbers, and hope things change. But there was no front end work of prevention, not enough. There was it's still a total lack of programming for the youth, and overall, I just think there was no improvement of the community where the kids were coming from. They still living in poverty. They still going to bad schools. They still dealing with mental health and other things that's not being addressed. Their parents still need help with things as well, and they always forgotten about it. It's like, oh, let's go fix the youth, but we're not going to help the household. So it's a lot of things that are issue, and the Department of Health, Harm, and Suffering is always going to be an issue. They continue to lose kids every day. So it's
Wait. What do you mean lose kids?
they lose kids. If you look at their reports, they lose kids every year. A lot of kids in the system. Like, and I'm not, when I'm saying lose kids, I'm serious.
Like they don't know where they are.
Yes.
So
Jeez.
I'm kind of saving this for the second hour. But for those listening, you might want to pay attention to this episode, because there's actually a theory that I have working as far as society, and kind of one of the biggest things plaguing society. And I'm gonna just go there: child pedophilia and sex trafficking. You don't just lose kids.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the Department of, what do you call it, Health, Harm, and Suffering is being investigated. We'll get into why they're being investigated. But
wow. Yeah, I mean that article talked about the allegations of abuse. I wasn't even thinking about disappearing kids and trafficking and being part of this thing too. This is
again,
highly investigated.
This is just me
Well, I
saying.
mean, and I think so. I used to work at a child advocacy center in Dallas County, which is the largest county in Dallas, the city. And they started the integrated model of having like the forensic interviews, HHS there, the police there, to be able to address like acts of violence against kids. And it was a very difficult job. There's things that I wish I did not learn about society that actually do exist, buddy. So I think you're right. But I think in general, like, we don't protect our kids. And I think what Senator McKinney has really, since we've worked together, like has been very clear about is that most of the kids that are navigating our juvenile system were in HHS custody before and out of home placement. So there was some sort of trauma there. Something happened and the state was already responsible for it, not on the criminal side, but on this side, right? Like we should be taking care of our kids, making sure that they're okay. And that is not happening. And then they are being funneled. It's a pipeline into the criminal side where now they're either in detention on supervision and then again now primed to go into adult prison. And so when we went on our tour of DCYC and just like asking just like questions again, like help us understand. They talked a lot about just what they have seen in the schools. A lot of kids that are coming into our detention center are not at reading level. They have diagnosis of different mental health needs and so behavioral issues. And so again, if we go upstream to look at where kids first grade, second grade, and there's stronger interventions in community, then it lessens the chance of them having these experiences that now has them ready and primed to be in prison for the rest of their lives. And so I think that to me, and that's the work of policy. Like policy can go upstream and we need everyone that's a part of the ecosystem. So we need organizations that are meeting parents where they are. Senator McKinney had the Family Resource Center bill, which is going to be amazing. And we as state senators need to go upstream with our policy to really address what's happening.
Tony Johnson in the chat is asking, what role does school district like OPS play in entering youth in these pipelines with mandatory reporting and expulsions? Good question.
I think the school district plays a huge part. That's where a lot of them go, and that's where a lot of the signs are being seen or being overlooked. So I think the school districts do play a huge role in working with members of the community to address a lot of these issues. I ain't gonna put it all on the school district but they do have a role because they see a lot of these kids before they end up in these systems. And it's my belief that too many kids are falling through the cracks because the red flags are either being overlooked or people just don't care, if I'm being honest. Because, for example, I coach wrestling at North, and there's some kids that we've wanted to come out to the wrestling team, and you start digging into their education background to see if they eligible to wrestle and all these type of things, and you talk to a couple of teachers and they just writing them off like this kid walking through the school like a virtual zombie, all F's, barely go to class, but in school every day, like literally in school every day, but everything else is falling off, and there's no resources to pull that kid back in or a willingness to pull them back in. And maybe the school is overtaxed as far as like being able to address the issue, but somebody has to address the issue. And I think it's more than just that one kid that I'm thinking about. It's a lot of kids like that in elementary and in middle school and in high school. Because I visited with a teacher from Miller Park, and she was just bringing up the same issues to me. Like a lot of these kids are just being failed, and we don't have the resources to help them. And so I think a lot of it started in schools as far as being able to recognize what those issues are. And that should be where we should be doing some triage or something to pull those kids and those families in to help them at that point, so they don't end up 11, 12 years old and getting targeted by the police and ending up in the system.
I feel that. Senator Spivey, I wanted to ask you a question, but I want to come back to you about this question I have about young girls, because we talk a lot about our young boys that are in trouble and going through stuff. And I know that you probably have some information about what's going on with the young girls. I want to talk to you about it. But before we do that, I wanted to jump over to Senator McKinney because I know you got a time restraint, and we definitely have to get to you.
No, I don't today.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, while we're on the subject, then could I go ahead and ask Miss Spivey about Senator Spivey? Excuse me, put some respect on her name about what's going on with our young ladies, our young women.
Great question.
Yeah, so I think I see it more from working at Ivy Black Girl and what we're trying to do. And from a data perspective, when you look at like supervision or detention, girls are not being incarcerated or targeted by police in the same way as you would like look at the data and see the disproportionate impact of Black boys. And I think for girls, it's a different experience around adultification. So when you think about abuse and harm and what you brought up, Buddy, and what does that look like from that aspect, we see it. We do see higher expulsion rates for Black girls as well. And so I think it depends on kind of what data set you're looking at and kind of what the issue is. But one thing that I want to really bring up, which is exciting for me, is identity prep. So Dr. Dernicia Phillips. And so Ivy Black Girl, we do participatory grant making. And we gave out grants to organizations that can help build the ecosystem around reproductive wellness and anyone that touches it. So we have grantees that are like doing a hiking club for Black women, femmes, and girls. And we gave this grant to Dr. Dernicia that is looking to build a middle school for Black girls.
Wow.
It's called Identity Prep Academy, and we were able to help fund their summer academy, which was at capacity and had like a 70 kid waiting list. And I think for me, what was really interesting was the need for safe spaces where Black girls are poured into by people that look like them, like culturally appropriate and relevant content. And it just thinks about our experience holistically, because there is a difference. Like we still have to navigate patriarchy different than a Black boy would be, right? And so I'm really excited for what Dr. Dernicia is doing and like what she has really helped to create in terms of space. And so that's what I've been really focused on, of like, okay, we know the data exists, but where are the areas that have momentum or programs and people that are really, again, going upstream and creating these safe spaces and addressing it? And how can we resource them and make sure that they have what they need to be able to show up in community? So
Love that. That's what's up. While we're on the Ivy Black Girl tip, you got a summit coming up August 21st, 22nd.
Come on now.
Yeah. Tend to our gardens. Tell us about this.
So, tending to our gardens actually comes from a quote from Bell Hooks. So we love Bell Hooks, and our work is rooted in all of her brilliance. And my good sis at Dr. Liston at Ubuntu Research and Evaluation was helping me think of the new theme. And we talked about this coming, tending to your gardens, which really thinks about like, how do we pour into ourselves, think about the areas around us to be able to just live holy. And so our summit is every 2 years. The first year we had Dr. Angela Davis as our keynote. This year we have Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Nice.
Our keynote, our luncheon keynote. And so we just have like good content. We have a dad doula program from Milwaukee that's coming. We have someone doing a session around housing, specifically for women coming back home from incarceration. I mean, just like great topics to think about how can you build a movement rooted in reproductive justice. And so I hope people get their tickets. The tickets, we're almost at capacity, and we're stopped selling this Friday so we can get our counts.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now, first guy got to come in is Press. So give us the.
Yeah, you want to come in as Press?
Yeah.
Nicole Hannah-Jones in the house? Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Hold it down.
Okay. We'll have you come in as Press. And then I got to send an email to all of the elected officials to come for the luncheon. So
Nice.
Senator McKinney, because I ain't did that yet. Because I just,
Man, I do want to recognize the dad doula program. Like that's dope. That's huge. And you know, I'm personally glad you're doing that. I had a conversation with some brothers in the topic of women and the fetal death rate and women not surviving birth, and you know, men want to have children too. Like men want to build families, and a lot of brothers felt powerless about like, man, I'm supposed to protect my family in this one situation. I can't do nothing about it. So the idea of a daddy doula is dope. It's dope. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and doulas are relevant to just our culture of like bringing into life. I mean, Black women literally through the time period of enslavement created the field of midwifery, because we were the aides in these spaces of delivering babies. We were charged with feeding and nourishing the babies and taking care of them.
All babies.
Yeah, white babies, and then our babies were used, as property. And so the field of midwifery has been co-opted and taken from us. And like you'll see nationally, a movement of bringing midwifery back to Black community and communities of color. And I think, through our work at IB Black Girl has been around maternal and child health. Like, how do we not just live through our birth experiences, but really thrive? And a lot of what we talk about here makes a difference, like our social drivers of health. As moms and parents, when we see our kids targeted by a system, like all of these things make a difference to like how are we healthy and what we want to do. And so the guy that's coming from Milwaukee created that program just because of what you said, buddy, of like he wanted to be there for his partner, his wife, and wanted to make sure that men understood their role in the childbirth experience and how they can do that with honoring the space of that mom or parent. And so I'm excited to be able to bring that. We're looking at what we can do for our doula program that we offer around making sure that like partners and people can then go through the training as well to be an advocate. So we have a lot of good stuff on the horizon.
Man, and also the kind of segue to you, Senator McKinney. But again, touching on that summit that you have, the idea of tending to our gardens, and this goes back kind of to the larger conversation that I'm thinking of today. Tending to our gardens, thinking about raising our seeds. Speaking about children, and a lot of the conversations that we have stem and find their way back to family success and making sure that families, children, and the parents have resources to raise children. And I'm thinking about, man, some of the things that are going on in society. A saying comes to mind: it's easier to raise a whole child than to fix a broken adult. So with that said, Senator McKinney, I would love to hear where you are, your thoughts on the family resource bill and the role that this has in the greater conversation of community police relations.
Community police, I hope the police ain't too involved with the Family Resource Center, to be honest. And I say that because I want the Family Resource Center program to be a prevention program. And I don't want kids to be system involved to get the help, because that's been the problem. And that's the problem in our city and our state, is that for kids in these families to get real help, a kid has to commit an offense, or a parent has to end up with a CPS case or something like that. And the whole purpose with the Family Resource Center is just swim further upstream and start trying to provide them with those resources and have less, police interaction. Because the Family Resource Centers that I was looking at when I was thinking of the bill, the police are involved, but they're not involved in a sense of like arresting people. They're more of a reference point. Like, hey, basically, if a police is gonna say something, for me, and the idea is they're more providing a reference to say, hey, y'all should go to the Family Resource Center, versus I'm gonna arrest you, or I'm gonna give you a citation and make you go to the Family Resource Center. It's just a different relationship. So I mean, if they're providing a reference, I think that's good, but being involved, I wouldn't love that. But the role of community relations with police is always going to be a tricky slope with our community, especially Black community, because of the origin of policing in America and how that system has historically been to our detriment as a people. No matter what, no matter the years to change, no matter the decades, no matter who's been in public office, whether it's from senators to presidents, the police have always had it out for Black people. So that relationship, I want it to be, yes, I always want it to be improved, but I don't want them to be involved in that at all, honestly speaking, because I don't think, and I got my opinions about police, but
we'll get into that.
but I just know growing up, I always view police as a, basically a occupying force, or somebody who just couldn't be trusted. And to break down those walls, I think will take a lot of time. So why even put them into the mix?
Can I
especially.
ask a question to that?
Go ahead.
So I wonder, when does that change? So I have a son, my 2.5-year-old, screaming in the back, and right now he loves police. He loves the fire department. Like he has a little remote control police car, and like he watches Zootopia, which is our favorite movie. Which little bunny becomes a police officer, and so I'm like, when does that innocence of like these are people that are supposed to serve and protect you change to like we can feel the difference in our relationship or our community. Like I always, especially from a Black male perspective too, I always wonder that.
Can I
I think
speak to that?
Oh, hold on.
oh, I think eventually you end up with an experience with them that change it,
Man.
because the experience that changed it for me started probably how it was. Because I probably was this like. No, I ain't gonna say I was the same, but I was closer to like being like more welcoming to him. I think I was about 8 or 9. We were living in the projects in South Omaha, and it's a project, I guess. It got raided, right? And me and my brother were in our bed sleep, and we get woke up with guns in our face, and they like, get up, get out of bed. They walk us downstairs, and I'm witnessing them just talk to my mom, super reckless, like, and I'm a kid, like I'm 8, 9 years old, and I start screaming at them and going back and forth with them, like, stop talking to my mom like that. So I think the disrespect of my mom changed that for me. So I think at different points a Black boy is going to end up in a situation with, and it don't have to be something like that. It could be something that just, kind of attacks your innocence in a way. And almost every Black boy that I've talked to, that I've grown up with, it ends up happening, like just going to McDonald's and getting pulled over for driving while Black.
I see you worked up. Give it to me.
Fighting back tears, man, because going back to what I said, what was it, on Friday about the asthma. Communication rules the nation. When we start to talk, these experiences ain't just happenstance.
Not isolated.
This ain't just, come on now. And we talk about why Senator McKinney is, that was an 8-year-old. I don't even know if you did what they said you did, but even if you did, I don't care. That was an 8-year-old responding.
Yeah,
We've been doing this. We're tired of this shit. Why do we all have the same experiences? When is this shit gonna stop? 6th grade, my friend David Oliver got his arm broke by the police in the 6th grade. It was mistaken identity. He didn't even do nothing. Got his arm broke. Bro, what happened to you? Why are you in the cast? In the 6th grade. Before that, my parents throwing a birthday party for their friend. He didn't make it. Why? Because he reached for his wallet. We live through this daily. We do this. This is the police that we know. So to answer your question, Ashley, what happens is we stop believing the lie. The rose-colored glasses come off. That bullshit goes out the window. OPO, we're not believing you. We know who you are. You can't fool us anymore. And I'm sorry. Y'all know I don't get like this. But
this is okay. And that's why I wanted to ask, because I think there's so much trauma and experiences that we have and that we don't unpack, or that we don't sit and talk about. This is tending to our gardens. This is exactly. That we have these conversations, that it's a safe space that you can express how you feel, and we hold you, right? And we hold you, buddy, and we make sure that you feel safe in that, and that you can be what you need in that moment. Same with Senator McKinney, as he's been going through stuff with OPOA. I've been calling just to check in, like, what you need, like how do we navigate this? And I think you're right, in the space and container that First Sky at least has created. Here's where we can have these conversations and unpack these things for us, by us, for us, in a way that then allows us to be at the helm of the solutions, or that we are able to just care for each other, for like collective community care. And so I appreciate y'all entertaining that and just being raw with what you feel. So thank you.
But again, I'm sorry. I know you got babies in the background. I try not to curse around my children. Like but hearing Senator McKinney say that, like hearing him say, "Yeah, I woke up with guns in my face, and I saw him talking to my mom, and at 8 years old, as a child, I got to defend my mom from the same people I'm paying, she paying to protect them."
Yeah, man. That's the part that got me. The part that got me was thinking about the disrespect and this and you know, we can talk about the actions that the police do against us and stuff like that all the time, but it's the in between moments that really get me. It's them times that they pull you over and talk to you crazy, and you talk to somebody crazy back as a man would. They really got something to say about it. They really got their feelings hurt about somebody calling them out on something. I don't even know what you said, Senator McKinney, but whatever it is, they got them riled up enough to say what they said back. And it's ridiculous when everybody we know have had an interaction with the police where they were disrespectfully speaking to us as they were doing their quote unquote job, and talking crazy to our moms and stuff like that at young age. That's the part that really got me boiled up on that. And so and before I pass it to you, man, I want to say to Senator Spivey, you know, I hope that your son never has to go through a situation where his attitude will change. And I will say this: I've never gone through a situation. I'm a young black kid that never had any of that stuff happen to me, but I also came from a family that was very, very actively black, 70s, 80s, that told me, you know, no, don't you? We need to watch that show. That's propaganda. We don't need to see that. Don't, you know? It steered me in a direction to where it was like, you know, early on, I knew that law enforcement was really was really the evolution of the slave, you know, running after the slaves and the slave department, and that's what it was built from, and you know, and those kinds of attitudes, those kinds of things, me learning those things early on really shaped that, and then I can observe later on what was happening to friends and family members that rounded out my knowledge of that, because you know, I come from a different perspective. If it didn't happen to me that way, but I understood it and I saw it. I came from a family that understood. You just said it. You were like, he watches the movie. He likes the cops. He got the car. You the one bought the car. He didn't buy that car. You bought that car. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and it's like that you know, that change of innocence, especially as a parent. Like, so as a mom, I'm raising 2 black boys. My oldest, you know, is 11, youngest 2.5. And it's like, I talk a lot about this when I used to do like consulting for like culturally competent like frameworks of, we don't have the luxury of allowing our kids to be innocent, but I don't want to deny him of that. So like, what is that fine balance of preparing him for a world while also not like making him jaded or making him hardened too soon? You know, like it's a really hard dichotomy, especially as a mom, because I want to be nurturing, I want to be loving, I want him to stay innocent, and I also cannot allow the world to eat him up because I chose to not prepare him, you know. And so my husband and I talk about it all the time, and I just, again, like, was wondering for y'all, like, when does that change and what does that look like, especially knowing the data that it's black boys and black men in our system in Nebraska, right? Like it's your identities. What does that look like? And so again, like, I just appreciate the conversation and being able to unpack that together.
Appreciate the question for sure.
Yeah, and I have an 8-year-old, or no, I have a 9-year-old. So he's old enough to be detained and treated like an adult.
Now that this law is passed, right?
But he's nowhere near an adult.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough though, you know, as somebody that coaches young black boys and girls actually too, and just having conversations with them. And I'm a father myself. You know, my daughter, 15, she just started her sophomore year of high school, and people always ask me, like, do you want to have more kids? And honestly, truthfully speaking, I don't know if I want to bring another kid into this world, especially a black boy, because of just where we're at as a country and a society. So that's one thing I always think about. Like, if I brought a boy in this world, I don't know if I could sleep at night when he became a teenager or a young adult. I honestly don't, because I just know from the experiences that I've had growing up, it's like many of the situations where like people say like Terrell got in trouble, it was with the police and me defending either a family member against them or myself, like literally.
That 8-year-old
And
boy.
and that's why, like, when people be like, why you feel how you feel with them, like, oh, it's some good ones. Yes, but I just don't, it's hard for me to reconcile good people being in bad systems.
Mm.
Let
And
me ask you this.
it's hard based on my experiences. Everybody don't got the same experience, but based on those experiences, and my problem has been I just don't shut up. when they doing something wrong, whether right or wrong, I'll tell them like, y'all wrong.
Right.
And they don't like it, or they might not like it, and it
Right.
is what it is. But at the end of the day, my core, just, I don't know what it's always been in me, is just to tell the police when they're wrong. And I don't know, it don't matter if I'm somewhere at 8 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna tell them when they're wrong, and I'll live with those consequences because I just know what I experienced, and I don't want nobody else to go through that.
Man.
We're gonna shift to that real quick, man, before we let you guys go. It's 8:10 right now. If you believe in the concept of timing, well into the second hour of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, I didn't know if you was gonna sing it, buddy. You was over there feeling in your feelings. I was like, he gonna sing the jam?
I'm here, y'all. I'm here. Just
up.
you know, it's just
Appreciate
nonsense, man.
I appreciate you. We got to get to it. We got to get to it because we want to allow Senator McKinney to say whatever he wants to say about the situation. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, there was some stuff. It's been all in the news last week, all in the news because Omaha Police Officers Association put out there that he was there during one of the shooting situations, making things worse. That it came to find out later on he was not there. Even Schmatter at the 360 meeting got up and said, yeah, he was nowhere on the body cam footage. He wasn't there, and we have nothing to do with that statement. But then the Omaha Police Association did not apologize for making that mistake. Kind of doubled down on some things, and it's all because they don't like the way that Senator McKinney was talking to him. Don't know what was said. Don't know if you want to say what was said. Don't know if you just want to explain the situation, or if you want to jump past this situation and say there's nothing to talk about here. We can do that too, because as far as we're concerned, we already know your character, and that's the reason why we have you on the show regularly. And what you say about the situation goes with us. So I just want to allow you some time to be able to speak on that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect people who don't like me and hate me to ever apologize to me for holding them accountable, just first and foremost. So people say like, oh, they should apologize. I mean, I don't expect them to. It's the police, and it's the police association. What did you expect of them, or what do you expect of them? Just me being honest about it. I did have some words with them, and we had a back and forth, and it all started from, they had like got into the street and was looking like an occupying force. Honestly, like, why y'all in bulletproof vests and SWAT gear forcing people to go home? And all I did was ask them, like, well, it started because I asked them, okay, what gives y'all the authority to tell grown people they need what to do with their lives? What's the city ordinance, essentially? And that started the back and forth. And the crazy thing about this is it was a brief situation. Like, it wasn't like this drawn out thing. It was super brief. I don't know how many minutes, but it was definitely brief. We had a back and forth. I moved around. As I'm moving around, they kind of try to stop me. It was like, did you throw a bottle at us? And I was like, why would I throw a bottle at you? I don't know where this came from. So I'm like, and I was like, no. I was like, I don't like y'all, but I ain't gonna throw a bottle at y'all. I don't like y'all at all, but whatever. So I walk away and then just going about my night, swear to God. And then next day, I think the only time on the deuce was at Sherman's thing where I saw y'all at.
Yep.
This is my only time on 24th Street that whole day. I went home, I studied because I'm back taking classes like crazy for law school. I studied, chilled out, watched the movie, I ate something, chilled out, went to sleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I see my little sister had called me. So, and I knew she had went out. So, and it was 2 missed calls. So I called her back because I was like kind of scared. Like, why are you calling me at 2 in the morning? And I know it's Omaha Day. So I called her and we had a conversation because I initially thought, well, people thought my little cousin got shot. So we up kind of going back and forth about that, whether trying to figure out who got shot and what's going on. Then I just went back to sleep. So then I just went about my day. And then I think it was Wednesday or something, they made that post. But you know, overall, like I'll just say this. I'm never gonna stop telling the police when they're wrong. And whether people like it or not, it is what it is. Could I've probably addressed it in a better way? Possibly, but you know, that's you can't change the past. But at the end of the day, I know why I was having a conversation with them, and that's because I felt like they were moving wrong, and that's where it stemmed from. I wasn't there on Sunday. I was in bed, and for them to make that statement to insinuate that I'm gonna stand there and just be reckless and prevent them from helping somebody that needs their life saved was just wild to me and crazy. But it don't surprise me because I don't have these shades over my face or eyes that makes me think they are ever going to do right by me or my people. And I know who I am, and I know I speak up about them a lot. So I know I have a target on my back because I looked up at my calendar for this year for bills, and the number one thing it says a police package. So I guess started the year, trying to get on them, and they trying to retaliate, I guess. But it is what it is. But I'm gonna still be Terrell. I'm still gonna speak my mind about them when I feel as though it's needed. So that's
Tell me the we heard at the 360 meeting that Chief Schmatter was saying that they had nothing to do with that statement. The police department versus the police Omaha Police Association, is there a difference there? How do you feel about that?
I guess there's a slight difference because one is ran by the city, the other one is an independent association, but a lot of the cops a lot of the people in the department are in the association. I don't know if all the cops are in the association, but they still are police at the end of the day. It's the Omaha Police Association. So,
right.
They're still associated.
But it seems like they have separate statements. Like we always hear the statements from the police association that's way more inflammatory than the statements that the OPS puts out. It seems like to me. It seems like they are on two different messages sometimes. Is that am I wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong. You're 100% right. It's definitely different messages. It makes it interesting interacting with them sometimes because you'd be like, oh, your chief said this, and then they saying the opposite. So it's kind of funny. A couple did, not a couple, like one or two did call me, but it was more so about like those crazy white dudes on Facebook trying to say we should have public lynchings or whatever. I was like,
what?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, you didn't see the comments.
So they called me and asked me was I cool or felt in fear of my life or whatever. I was like, nope, I'm home, doors locked. I ain't worried about them. They could try me if they want to, but I appreciated the call, at least to say, we saw these threats online and we're just making sure you're okay. But at the end of the day, I'm a politician, a Black politician that says something about racist organizations and white supremacy, like I expected to happen.
What do you expect, right?
So I really wasn't surprised.
Man,
yeah. Miss Spivey, I'm sorry, Senator Spivey. I keep on not putting the respect on your name, Senator Spivey. You ever got any of those kinds of threats?
Not for my thoughts about like policing on the reproductive rights side. So around like abortion access and the right to choose and all of that. There are a lot of folks that have like condemned my soul and told me they were going to kill me and But it's been minimal, so which I'm thankful for.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think, after the assassination in Minnesota, like that was, I think a wake up call too of just safety. And I think we have different layers because we are Black. We're in a very conservative space that's not as value aligned to what we believe versus some of our other executive leadership. And so it makes you be on a code a little bit different, let me make sure I'm watching my surroundings or what people are saying, because folks take a lot of liberties now. And I feel like folks are really doing some wild, things I would not have ever imagined. I would never imagine that what happened, that assassination in Minnesota would have taken place.
Yeah.
So
That's why we kind of pushed the news gang, line. I remember while I was in school under the first Trump administration, if you remember, there were an instance of members of a crowd at a Trump rally that were spit on. They were hit. That some of those people were students, classmates of mine who traveled up to South Carolina from Florida to cover the Trump rally, and so just the hostile environment that we all have to work in. I'm very familiar with. Now I did want to pivot into another story, kind of in connection to this.
Let me check in with the senators there. How you guys doing on time right now?
I'm all right.
I got 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
And then we got to go.
Okay, well I'll toss it to
Well,
you.
no, Senator McKinney and I, we got some meetings.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
But,
Let me get this. Let me get this.
Be ready when it's for 10.
I'll be ready by 10.
Okay.
All right, little code of language. Buddy, you got time to jump into what you want to jump into?
Well, yeah, I just kind of get open ended, let them cook. I would definitely love to hear from you, Senator Spivey, because you work in the space of family health and children, and reproductive rights. But this DHHS story, again, I mentioned it earlier. They are under investigation for some of actually, I'll put it like this: the Attorney General of Nebraska, one of them put out a report looking into one of their programs, saying that a lot of families who are actually high risk and maybe even more for future threats and abuse of children have fallen through the cracks. I'm wondering, senators, have you heard of this, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think before I even came in the body and just was doing this work, there was such concern with HHS. And remember, it was privatized.
Mm-hmm.
So we manage our child welfare system to it being privatized, and that being a total mess, even worse than I think people would have thought. And so we took it back, and it's still not better. And it's, again, we see a disproportionate number of kids removed from homes that are Black families. Our kids are in the system in a very different way, and we're not serving them. So there's not the check-ins that need to happen. It's not the wraparound services. It is very concerning, especially because that is the one job of child welfare is to ensure that kids are well, right? And that's not happening. And so what does that accountability look like when, oh, Bubby, it's okay. When his daddy told him to stop, so now he's sad. But when, there's not the accountability, it's not the oversight, it's really hard to get answers sometimes. So as senators, we can email and we can do FOIA requests, we can, request information, but if they're slow to respond, or they wait, it's really difficult. And I think this is a place that we're going to continue to see cuts. So the governor in the last budget cycle cut from the budget of HHS.
Wow.
They're already under-resourced. They're going to be cut again. And how can you administer essential programming if you literally don't even have the personnel or people with the expertise, if folks are burnt out, right? So I'm really concerned about what's going to happen with HHS. And HHS, outside of child welfare, their largest budget line item is Medicaid. So also, as we have the conversation about the federal cuts of what's happening with Medicaid, SNAP, and other health and human service programs, I think we are going to see our social safety nets really just dismantled in a way that Nebraska is not prepared to take on or even has the willingness to take on.
Wow. What say you, Senator McKinney?
That organization or agency is one of the, I don't know, either one or it's top 2 worst ran state or agencies in the state of Nebraska. It's either them or corrections, but they don't correct anything. But the issues are there. Even when we were discussing going back to like from the privatization from St. Francis Ministries, we were still having those conversations about how are you going to improve it? How are you going to make sure that the issues that have been happening with at the time St. Francis Ministries won't occur again under DHHS? Because the reason for the privatization was because they were running the agency so bad. So people had this wild idea that if we privatize it, it'll improve the system, but it didn't. They started losing kids, and more kids started dying within the system. It's a multi-billion-dollar agency that has a lot of layers, like it's child welfare, you got youth. It's so many things, and I think it's too big to succeed and too big to fail, especially when you're thinking about kids and families that are being affected by the system. So my concern is always with the kids and the families to make sure they get, a lot of the services they need. Because like for example, like with the juvenile justice system, they are shipping kids out of the state all the time to like Arizona and I think a few other places, but they don't provide resources for those parents to go see those kids. So a lot of those kids end up out of state going through bad situations, whether just missing family. Some of the kids end up trafficked, but they're Nebraska kids, and our state is dropping the ball with that as well. So it's a bad organization, honestly. And there isn't any political, for me, for Ash, most likely too, in the legislature to hold these agencies accountable, because too many senators want to kiss up to the governor and not, speak up and say like you're doing a bad job, or these agencies are doing a bad job, but they'll pull you to the side and say, yeah, I agree. It's being ran wrong. And the only time when they speak up about a state agency is when it directly affects them or somebody they know, or if it's like gaming parks, because a lot of them are formers and things like that. But when it comes to the agencies that affect our people, they overlook a lot of things until one of their people are negatively impacted by an agency. Like over the past couple years, it's been a lot of white rural senators who's had like friends and associates go in front of the pardons board, and then they finally realizing how bad the pardons process is or the parole process is, and like, man, Terrell, you wasn't lying. You and Justin wasn't lying. I was like, I was trying to tell y'all, but it's until they're affected, because when we start saying it, they look at us like we're crazy.
Yeah, not caring. Caring when it comes to our people. I appreciate you guys' word on this. We'll definitely have to continue to talk a little bit about what's going on and keep our eye on what's happening, especially with this investigation that's going on. But before we go ahead and let you guys get out of here, I know you got to go. But any final words for us, Senator Spivey? Hopefully something happy.
Something happy. Yes. Let's end on a note that we create versus reacting to other stuff. I am just really excited for what's ahead. I always say like this work is really hard, but it feels like we are doing what we need to do. I think that there are some great elected officials that actually care and don't have egos. They want it to be about the work, and we're getting stuff done. And so I'm excited to be able, especially to work with my brother, Senator McKinney. We also have, Senator Roundtree, even though he in Sarpy County. I don't really mess with Sarpy County, but I love him. And so I feel like I got my people with me, and I'm just really excited for what's in front of us and that we can really create change. And so I always appreciate this platform, and your chat chimers, they are everywhere doing great stuff. So just, we gonna get it done. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to really be able to do what we need to do for our community.
There you go. We all we got, but that's enough.
Mm-hmm. It's always enough.
Yeah.
So what's your final word, Senator McKinney?
I would just tell everybody, kids, OPS kids are going back to school this week. So I wish all the kids a happy first day of school. I hope everybody have a great week and enjoy their time with their families and their kids, and just, take everything in and make sure you enjoying life. I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure you find enjoyment in life, no matter what you're going through. Try to put a smile on your face. It's my birthday next Sunday. Sunday, so I'm excited about that. I'll be 35, so getting a little older. But overall,
such a little baby.
Happy early birthday, Senators, both of you. Leo season in full effect.
I mean, we in the heart of Leo season, because ain't nothing like an August Leo. Nothing against my July Leos, but August Leos ain't nothing like us.
Well, I see. We see it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and y'all hang in there too. And of course, if there's anything that happens in between, you need to hit us up. You're always welcome on the show. Come through, say what's up, and let us know. And we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, cool. See y'all later.
All right, man. Peace. Okay, man. Always a pleasure talking to the Senators in the big way. Appreciate that. Shuffle the cards here. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back and jump into some of your comments. Appreciate all your comments during the Senators Cypher, and we'll dig into some of that and wrap up some of the conversations that we're having on the subject today. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddy to God. Well, if you miss any of this show, you better go back and check it out on YouTube for real.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddy to God, all of you chat chimers, man, those listeners too. I appreciate you guys coming in and getting busy with us in the chat over here. Didn't get a chance to ask Senator McKinney about whether or not he was going to litigate or was going to try to take this thing legal. I doubt it with him, but you never know. What we did say about the situation was, we were commenting on what the Omaha Police Association said, but we didn't really dive into what the comments were, which was kind of the reason why this was such a big deal as well. All the threats, they went full Channel 7 chat on them and called for lynchings and all kinds of stuff, to the point where the police department had to call and say, "Hey, you all right?"
The reason that they were getting the comments, like the very people that called him out.
Wow,
the irony.
Wow. Mama got in the chat earlier, man, says something that struck me. She said, Senator, you spoke of experiencing the disrespect your mom. I will never forget the utter lack of disrespect to my 20-year-old son. I was the driver of an improper registered car, but the target was my son, the silent passengers. It changed me for life.
Yeah, my big bro. Try to act like he was kingpin extraordinaire because he was riding with his mom in an improperly registered car.
Well, yeah, what kind of kingpin are you if you ain't paid the registration on your car your mom driving?
Come on, man.
Kingpin though, right?
But for some reason he gotta get out the car and get searched. All right.
Bill Soul in the chat. I'm not registered. Don't know that name. Says, I'm 70 years old. When I was 7, the police came into our home and beat my father unrecognizable with their nightclubs, while 5 of us kids stood and watched. This was in South Omaha, and our family is white. In my opinion, is far worse in North Omaha. I support you, Senator. Appreciate your testimony there. Yeah, this always been the problem. The police, when they decided to abuse the authority, they abuse the authority. And if you already know what people think of black folks, especially in our country, then they're going to get their authority abused upon them all the time. And like he's saying, it's white. That was white family. There's they'll just be up in your home beating you. That's what it is. And this is why we gotta there's some people that said recently, when the police do something right, say that too, because you got to, because we gonna say when they do something wrong as well. Like, it got to be real. The relationship that they had with the way they policed the Native Omaha Day situation seemed to be pretty all right.
Yeah,
be positive. And so there are ways to police without causing harm. Sounds like they stepped out of line a little bit. One of the nights that Senator McKinney had to say something to them. An elected official, a senator, had to tell the police, why are you guys telling grown folks to move? And the narrative is, this rogue black man said something to the authority of the police, and that's their narrative. Our narrative is a senator who is, as far as I'm concerned, is a little bit higher ranked than these cats that we're paying to protect us. Noticed that they were doing something out of pocket and spoke up to say they need to straighten their thing up. And that's the real story here. For them to kind of come back and try to act like, how dare the senator say something to us, is crazy talk. That's crazy work. Say that to any other senator. It's crazy work. Michelle Moreno is out in the chat, says, where are the good police when the bad police are being bad?
Man,
who's speaking up?
Let me say it like this. I was going to mention this with the center. I don't want to cut him off, but if I give you a bag of moldy grapes and I say it's a couple good ones in there, go ahead, dig in. It's a bag of moldy grapes. There's a couple good grapes in there. You all right?
Hey, Pops, you gonna
eat the moldy grapes?
You gonna try to find them too?
You gonna dig to find the good ones, or you gonna throw the whole bag out?
RG the chat said the band kicked it with the community at AOS and went home, but quote unquote he did this and that. Right.
That's another thing.
Whole community know he went home.
I had a conversation with Senator McKinney after the kickback. Like, bro, we vibe is high. We about to go to Dreamland, kick it. This is about to be a show. Come through. He said, no, I have to go home to study. I'm in law school.
He at home studying law while they calling him out his name like he was there. Like he was there. And for those who don't know, they try to act like he was there cussing them out while they were trying to give the young man who got shot CPR. They did. We're trying to give life-saving aid to this young man, and Senator McKinney is cussing us out. Wasn't even there. Tony Johnson in the chat says the fact that certain community leaders did not jump in front of a camera for interview or photo op tells me all I need to know. Hear that? Vaughn Chapman is asked that he was the one asking about litigation against the police union for slander. Yeah, I don't think that's Senator McKinney's style, but I ain't gonna speak for him. I don't know if he would or not. From what I understand, I saw the interview he had with Melissa Wright. Shout out to Melissa Wright over at Channel 3 KMTV, who's been covering a lot of this. At the end of the interview with her, he said, I don't expect that they're going to apologize. I'm just going to keep on doing my job. And that's part of the narrative too, man. Just move on from what these fools. So what they said. These fools. I mean, who's paying attention to what they saying, and really it being a thing. Like, I'm kind of upset that it even was a story that they put out this statement. But it goes to show you when if they got the mic and they're saying stuff like this, it's affecting what's going on around town, and it brings out the people that want to call for lynchings and stuff like that. So you gotta pay attention to what they have to say. But it's too bad. And actually, when I got to give Chief Schmatter some credit, when he at the 360 meeting, he said, "Yeah, that's we're not the union. We didn't put that statement out. We determined that McKinney wasn't there, and that didn't happen." So I mean, if your own police chief got to discredit what your police union is talking about, then how much weight we got to give it on the real? Like I said to him. Like we know your character. That's why you're on this show all the time. As far as we're concerned, what you say goes, and that's that. And why trust anything else when they're always on social media talking disrespectful. They're always on social media trying to chime up about something. and this ain't the first time. It's not the first time they've said some mess like this. It's what it is.
Acted a fool during Freedom Summer.
Come on, man. We start collecting everything that they be posting, because like it's crazy talk. Michelle Moreno says, and that's what I told the chief. No matter what union or not, and you can't control it. There's still police officers, and your fellow police officers speak the F up. She was at 360 meeting telling the chief that, like, okay, whatever they said, whatever the union said, they're your officers. They're the ones that make up the union. Tony Johnson is asking, where does Black Police Officer Association stand with this?
Man,
never heard a statement from them on that. Also, Wanda Lewis in the chat says, I can't hold them to being accountable for everything that has taken place involving police, sheriff, and district attorneys with people of color causing death and unjustifiably detainment, finding no fault of their own or at their hands, using their own discretion and making own independent decisions without a public review board. No answers and no justice.
Man, this reminds me of speaking of the no answers, no justice, the hypocrisy. Reminds me of a post that I came by. Shout out to Sister Tanny Oliver, who posted this on Facebook, talking about the Douglas County attorney and the conversation swirling around her. And just look at the juxtaposition. I don't know if you heard about this, that Douglas County attorney that got fired for drunk driving.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Here you have an actual elected official or official. I don't know if that position is elected or appointed, but she's an official nonetheless, actually breaking the law. You don't hear her being called out. You don't hear her
trying to lynch her.
Right. Ain't nobody trying to lynch her. She actually put people's lives in danger. Like drunk driving. Have we not talked about how many deadly accidents have happened in this area this year alone? But no, we got to talk about the young Black man who's speaking up and using words.
Anthony Rogers Wright is asking, where's the mayor on this? This reminds me of the question about, well, first of all, Tony Johnson says, think about what little it takes for community leaders to jump on television with other leaders behind them for less incidents than this. Now they quiet. So it is notable. Like what does the mayor have to say about this? And it reminds me of the things that we were talking about when we were preparing for the show, where you were saying, that's going to be the hallmark of Mayor Ewing's time is how is he going to deal with, coming from the police force himself, how is he going to deal with police relations with our community when things like this happen? I haven't heard anything that he said about this situation with Senator McKinney and the police union. I don't know. I'm not going to say he didn't say anything. I'm saying I don't know if he did or not. I didn't hear anything. But that's the question. That is the question. How is that going to happen? I feel like the mayor, especially the conversation we had, interview coming soon. The conversation we had was very positive on all kinds of fronts, and he had a lot of good plans for a lot of good things. And he even mentioned about police relations and what he has been doing there too. And he's pulled body cam footage, and he's done a bunch of stuff in order to try to figure out what's going on with that, because he comes from the police force. He feels like the police force is the best police force in the country, ours here in Nebraska, in Omaha, and he wants to keep it pristine. Like, anybody who is a chief in the police force that way would want that. But he also comes from North Omaha, and so there's a dichotomy there. He's trying to figure out. He's has a lot to say about relations with the police and so on and so forth. There's been people, chat chimers even, that have chimed up and said they've spoke to him, and he felt like he made some mentions about some shootings being justified that we didn't agree with. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be those kinds of questions. If a person from the police force is going to know what the police can and can't do, and so according to them, it may be like it's justified because according to the police Bible or whatever they got over there, it was a justified thing, but the community doesn't feel that way. So how does that work? So there's a lot of questions there, and I do agree with you, buddy, on that fact. Like, he wants to be held accountable. We're going to be holding him accountable whether he wants to or not. That's just what it is. Very positive about a lot of things that's going on with him, but I am concerned about where he's going to stand on the relationships between the police and the community, and what's it going to be like. I anticipate it's going to be a little bit how, like, Chief Schmatter is kind of going to the 360 meetings every week and trying to deal with the community on that level. Plus, we know that our new mayor is also associated with the Empowerment Network, and as part of this situation where they have built this 360 model that other states and other cities are now copying. So my thought is it's going to be along those lines. But he also has a real opportunity as mayor to really do some real solving of this situation, the relationship between police and our community, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with his time. So
I think it will be actually the defining thing. Like, I'm very confident that we'll have some economic mobility, some economic leaps in the city. I do think that there will be some positives under Mayor Ewing, but all of that will be wrapped up in how the community and police relationship pans out during his tenure as mayor. I don't know which way that will go. I'm hopeful, but I'm not saying he won't be able to do it. But however this plays out will be a huge defining point of how we view his time as mayor.
Definitely. Anthony Rogers Wright says lawmakers and candidates need to stop accepting money and endorsements from OPOA, both major political parties. Interesting. Brother Guillermo, Brother Pena says he'll they all rotten out, fruit flies and all. I think he's talking about your grapes analogy.
Yeah, man.
Pops said about the grapes. It just happened yesterday. He said I saved the good ones, threw the rest of the bag away, but grapes are worth the effort. Okay, all right. I don't know if that matches your.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah. Hey, let's take the good ones out and actually put them to work.
Throw the rest in the trash. Okay.
Throw the rest in the trash.
There you go. Von Chapman is asking where's the conversation regarding the statements of William King and his comments regarding the senators. Didn't really want to bring that up today. Everybody saw what went down with William King. He had a show the other day that was pretty controversial. People were chiming up about the fact that he was saying he had some people that wanted to meet with the senator and so on. Don't really know what to say about his opinion on that situation and what it is that he chose to do on his platform with that. I think I was more so just thinking about how we were going to handle the conversation by bringing on the source and talking to Senator McKinney about it personally when it comes to that. So that was kind of what we were on, man. I don't want to get into, I feel like everybody who is in this space that we're in with alternative news and trying to inform the public in this information, we all got different styles, and sometimes our styles match, sometimes it doesn't. But you can form your own opinion about what it is that you thought about William King's show the other day and what he had to say there. And there's no need for us to add to whatever your opinion about it is. So I just kind of decided not to really talk about that at this point. Also, moving on, Black Dynamite in the chat says, I ran into a black lady cop Sunday night and I was parked like 20, 30 feet outside of that shooting crime scene. She asked where I was parked and I told her, and as I drove away, I told her, thank you for not being like your coworkers. She smiled and laughed as if to say, thank you. I know they're a problem. Interesting interaction. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like you said, yeah, like you guys are saying, Pop said, maybe that's the thing, man. Pull out the good ones and throw the bag with the rest of them away if that's what it is. The moldy grapes got to go. There's 2 or 3 good ones in there. Pick them out, I guess. Got to save them.
Yeah, got to figure out something.
There you go. Marlon Harrison says, even though OPA has been called out on their foolishness with Senator Terrell McKinney, they still have a post up. Like, why is the post still up? Because they didn't apologize. You're talking about OPOA, the Omaha Police Officers Association. Because they didn't apologize. They don't think that what they said was wrong. And that's what they said, on the news. That's not my guess. They said that on Melissa Wright's piece. That he should have been out there helping us. If good relations mean that you're supposed to do what we say, that was kind of their attitude on that thing. So there is it. Anthony Rogers Wright is saying there can be no community policing without the community, and there can be no community without public trust. Well said.
Man, well said.
Yep. Michael Lee in the chat saying, good morning, peeps. What's up, man? On time no see, Brother Lee. How you doing? Appreciate you coming on in. We're going to go ahead and it's about 8:48 right now. Only got about 12 minutes left in the broadcast. And I wanted to go through some of the chat. I appreciate you guys going through the chat. Please read all the chats when you go back and look at this show in its entirety on YouTube and Facebook. Go to both. Go to YouTube and Facebook because there's people that are coming in on the chat there. The majority of the chat is on YouTube where we're trying to align everybody else. Chat chimers to be on YouTube if possible. though, especially the regular ones, because that's where we're having the major conversations and going to be dropping a lot of new material as well. So definitely go over there, like and subscribe, and get ready for that. But with the time we got left, buddy, you want to go ahead and jump in and wrap up your thread? How you feeling over there?
Man, actually,
I think your blood pressure was up early. I hope you are.
yeah. I'm good. I got a loose end to my thread though. I got two directions I can go. And kind of want to put it out to the listeners. More positive thread. Talking about the Native Omaha Day debriefing, where a lot of these conversations came from. Or kind of get deeper down my mental rabbit hole and talk about this DHHS story and the Franklin scandal that is kind of bubbling back up. There's a new, well, not necessarily a new book, but there's some posts and some things being talked about, especially in light of this whole Epstein situation. So I'm not quite sure which direction we want to go. If we want to end on a more positive note or go deeper down the rabbit hole.
Well, you already know I want to go positive. Plus, that rabbit hole that you're trying to go down and deserves a whole show.
Man.
So yeah, we might need to save that for another time. But let us know. I definitely want to get to this thing about the Native Omaha Days before we get too far away.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, because there are a bunch of surveys out, which is interesting. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and go that way. Again, all of this, all the whole police community relations, and all of this really comes to a head of the community kind of doing for itself, and not relying on the powers that be to push the line, push things forward. And I'm hopeful, and I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. It's about a movement, not a moment. And I think that these surveys kind of lends itself to that thought process, as far as not just letting the moment of Native Omaha Day, the 7 days, the week come and go, but looking back and looking at how to move forward, how to build from that, not just community police relations, but community relations, like what happened. So again, big shout out to those who are looking back, those who came together. Actually, mentioned Melissa Wright. She recently released an article kind of talking about this debriefing that went down. Again, communities, members, and organizations looking back at the Native Omaha Days. Actually, Brother Leo Lewis, who I personally saw and spoke to out there during Native Omaha Days, was interviewed as a part of this article. And before I get into his comment, man, just kudos to Brother Leo Lewis. And we're talking about community relations, community policing itself. Back to brother, the comment. I'm drawing the blank. Brother Anthony Rogers, right? Thank you. His comment about no community policing without the community. And yes, there were incidences and back and forth and some tensions between the community and the police. But what I saw from the community itself coming together, I want to see more of moving forward. And Brother Leo Lewis is a part of that. If you've seen him handing out waters, that's not a small thing. He's not just handing out waters. This is a literal, like, hey, cool down. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. You don't know how many fights and how many arguments and how many just people's emotions were regulated by him just simply handing out water, giving a kind word in that moment. So very revolutionary thought, very revolutionary act. Very revolutionary brother. So big shout out to Brother Leo Lewis. And I really appreciate the words that he had to say in this article. He says some of the things that did work, again, looking back, were great community police relations. Some things that did work were community members being engaged with other community members to where community members could almost police themselves, going back to this idea of what community policing could look like. Again, I've seen a lot of arguments and potential fights happening, and then community members stepping in, a cousin, a brother that's involved with somebody in the situation, saying, hey, chill out, let's calm down, everybody go their separate ways. And the police kind of stood there looking on. So again, allowing the community to police themselves is a beautiful thing to see. And also to Leo's point, he says when asked what didn't work, he pointed to security and activity planning, saying some locations were not monitored as closely as they should have been, and there just could have been more activity. So again, looking and thinking about how to build on this. There are more conversations being had, and again, a movement, not a moment, again, of support, not just of the organizers, not just of this, but of the businesses. Again, to your point, there are several surveys going out to get everybody's feedback about the businesses, the economic impact, some of the organizations. Again, as you see, several, all of these are links to different surveys where people can, again, give their feedback and help us turn this into a movement and not a moment. Paul, I understand you filled out a survey or two. What are your thoughts?
I did. I didn't know there was so many different surveys. As a matter of fact, this goes along with the conversation that we had about the two organizations that were running Native Omaha Days as well. The two organizations being the Festival Committee and the Native Omaha Day Club. I filled out the Native Omaha Day Club survey, which I'll put that in the link right now. This was them, wanting to know if you went to any of the legacy events and so on and so forth. I thought that was it. I didn't really realize anybody else. So apparently the committee though was putting some out, and the first one we came across this morning was this impact assessment. And the impact assessment one was like, how did Native Omaha Days affect you if you're a business owner? How much more money did you make, so on and so forth? And I was wondering, well, who was putting these out? And I'm thinking that this is from the Native Omaha committee, that the festival committee that we're talking about, this other organization. And it made me wonder because it's already been reported last week that it was like something like 3.5 million dollars flowed through for Native Omaha Days week. How did that they come? Now I'm wondering how they came to that number. If this survey that I'm putting up right now, it was just put out, this impact assessment survey that was there that we just found this morning. How did they find out about how much money flowed through and so on, and who is the question as well. So a little bit of follow the money thing that we got to do, and we're talking about it. We had Miss Vicky Quates on from Empowerment Network, and she talked a little bit about some of the financial responsibility to the things that the committee was doing, but didn't really get any information about who's making money, how independent vendors, if they made money that week and so on. And I guess this is a way to pull that kind of information together and get that. There was also an attendees survey as well that I think the same organization put out. Looked like the same kind of survey, so the same thing. So these are all ones that you can fill out if you want to and get some more information there. We're going to do a little research on finding out who's gathering this information. I believe it's the Empowerment Network, but we'll double check on that. And what we're going to do with this information as well. So we'll definitely be checking it out more. Of course, as you can see on the screen here, 3 major surveys that we found this morning on Native Omaha Days, the week there, and take a little time to fill some of these things out and see what you have to say about it and let us know. Love to hear about that. By the way, we're also have a special guest coming on Friday as well. I think that this is going to be very important to speak to Miss Kimberly Sherrod, who is of the Native Omaha Club. We've had, like I said, we had Miss Vicky Quates on that was from the festival committee. Now we're going to have Miss Sherrod on that's from the club, and now we'll have represented the two organizations that are coming that put this together. With our goal of making what we would like to see is both organizations really kind of come together and have an understanding and make this thing flourish, because over the course of us speaking over this past week, I've come to the conclusion that both are needed, and both have been doing some great things. And I can see honoring the Native Omaha Club from the founders. We got to honor the founders this year, being the 25th year of the club, who had an idea of what that is. And shout out to Miss Sherrod, who's like, and everybody else who's Miss Precious McKesson, everybody else who's really wanting to perpetuate the dream of the two founders of what Native Omaha Days should be, for sure. I also give a shout out to all the other people that put on peripheral events and stuff like that, man, like the White Party and everything else that has been going on that's associated with Native Omaha Days. It also needs some infrastructure help, and which the Omaha Days Festival Committee was providing as well. And there's more to it. What we just talked about, Leo Lewis being on, speaking about the relationship between the police department and the Native Omaha Days, and that was because of the committee of their relationship with the police department and what they planned for that week and so on and so forth. So both organizations are needed, I feel like, and both organizations can kind of come to some agreement and figure out what's happening. We can make this enhance it even more, and I'm highly encouraged to do that because of this being the best Native Omaha Days week I've ever seen, and with the most people as well, with the most people. And that's why we're so passionate too about making sure the narrative stays that, instead of then trying to act like it's marred by the violence that happened around Native Omaha Days, but really not a part of Native Omaha Days at all. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Good morning, Dulce. Nice to see you, Dulce Sherman in the chat. Appreciate you guys in the chat in a big way. Von Chapman says this after the fact survey proves that the 3 million statement is probably overstated.
I don't know.
Not
Could
sure.
be understated.
I don't think it proves it.
Right.
Well, I want to see some actual proof, but I think it does. I hear what you're saying, Brother Chapman. Is I have a question. I would like to know where they got that information from. If they are just now sending these out, or maybe we just are late in finding the surveys. I don't know. Well, we'll see. What say you, buddy?
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't agree that it proves anything. I think it is worth discussion and looking at. Is it understated? Is it overstated? Just what is the economic impact of Native Omaha Days, and how can we support that? How can we extend that? And again, I'm throwing out the 20,000-30,000 number that I'm hearing as far as attendees over the course of Native Omaha Days. And and actually, I'm hearing a large percentage of that are actually people who are from Omaha. So again, what is the economic prowess of North Omaha? What is the potential? Kind of going back to what you were saying about our conversation with Mayor Ewing and his answer to community police relations. It was economics. It was building an economic base, driving up jobs. Like the same thing we've been saying, which I appreciated, is recognizing that families need money. Like families need stability. Families need resources. And all of that is again the whole swimming upstream that you heard the senators talk about. All that mentality, all that language is still in the conversation with the mayor. So again, hopefully Omaha Days tells that story, and that's the narrative moving forward beyond the foolishness that again we've already spent too much time talking about.
Feel that. Marlon Harrison says, I'm glad you guys got in touch with Miss Kim. I'm glad you got in touch with Miss Kim. You the one got in touch with her. Can't wait till Friday's show. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, appreciate it. Shout out to Margie also, who was our instructor for the last content creator class. Man, did a great job. Great presentation. Really appreciate you, Weberize, Star Trek Rich, everybody. I'm glad to have you guys involved in a big way, man. I can't wait to do more things in the future with you. And I can't wait to hear I can't wait to hear your story, bro.
Man,
that stuff we had up on the board was a good outline for what it is you're about to write and drop on this particular subject as well. So can't wait. Like I said, you got me inspired to write my testimony about how I felt about Native Omaha Days week. Just to be able to relay that. So we appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. It's 9:01. If you believe in the concept of time, it's time to wrap it up. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Love y'all, man. Really love y'all. And like the Chat Charmers kickback was beautiful. Like a real sense of community, real sense of family was had. And I appreciate that. Let's keep on keeping on, man. That's all it is. It's all about progression. That's a saying I've been living by since I was 16 and rings true, man. It's all about progression. Let's keep on stepping, keep moving forward, and catch the same time, same place, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. Safe travels to you. Oh, my bad. It's First Guy Omaha
in the morning.
There you go. Safe travels to you, Paul. I know you mentioned that you'll be, doing a little cloud hopping this week.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So safe travels to you, and until next time, take it away.
Appreciate it. Like Big Way said, keep on pushing.
Hey,
make it happen. Can't stop now. Appreciate everybody that's come through, man. Shout out to everybody that went to that Rap-A-Lot event yesterday as well. And Intrigue Midwest is the one that hosted this for the Rap-A-Lot Summit. Shout out to the Moss Lady. Shout out to Myron Pierce. Shout out to the space that they give over there for that. Spaces and places that they allow for things like this to happen. So I really appreciate that. That went down. Don't forget to definitely check this out, man. The Men's Group's Back to School Block Party is coming up on August 16th. Is one not to miss. Is literally like the show that's bringing all together like Omaha's best talent. And I really can't wait to see this.
Man.
So, definitely check it out. Also, if you're looking for a job, check it out, man. Working Wednesday's career fair is happening on August 20th. Shout out to Urban League of Nebraska putting this out. You might be able to have a chance to work with some of these people down here. The Hawkins Group, the what is this? Souls, North End Teleservices. Yeah, man. So there's some places that you can connect with the local employers right there and possibly get you a job. So get your resume and your headshot ready and come check it out if you want to go that route. Shout out to the Urban League for that. So yeah, definitely check out more things over at Friends of First Sky Omaha, where we tend to put a lot of these events and haps that are going on over there and places to go and things to do. And all of you that are part of putting things in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. Want to thank you again. Keep it coming. Got to know what's going on around here from us. So really appreciate that very much. Sorry I couldn't get to all of your of your comments in the chat. Lots of good comments today. Again, if you miss any of parts of this show or any parts of the chat, please go back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube. While you're at YouTube, like and subscribe, and also give a shout out. You can make a comment on YouTube as well. You can also share the show on your page. Share the link. Just get as many people interested in this as you can, and we appreciate all the hard work that you guys do promoting us as well. So I hope that you want to continue. Souls B said, "Call that in Cali if you talk." What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's Saul's. It's a pawn shop.
Oh, I thought, okay, yeah, I know it. I know what it is. I guess I was pronouncing it wrong. It's called Souls. I'm down here on Concord,
out here in Concord.
Oh, out here in Concord. All right, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you Wednesday for another great show, and then Fridays our special guest, Miss Kimberly Sherrod. Don't forget that. Mark that on your calendars. And take care of yourselves. We want to thank the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you again for all the overabundance of great comments that came through today and great thoughtful questions and everything else. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll continue that. And like I said, anybody who you think would be great in these conversations, let them know to come through. Don't just be ghost listeners. Come through, be chat chimers. Let's be busy with it. In the meantime, between time, take care of yourselves. Check on your loved ones if their power's still out for sure. And we'll check back in with you on Wednesday. Peace. We're out of here.
Peace.
By the way, Van this is protected by the red, the black, and the green.